myself, my natural hair, my activism, my tattoos, and my love and my advocacy for my children. My son, who he's 11 years old now, but at the time he was 9 years old, he was in trouble at home, and he wasn't going to get what he wanted for Christmas. So on the last day of school, for the school year, he went to school and he was supposed to help with the school Christmas play that they were putting together for the parents. So he stayed after school to help them out with that. When I came to pick him up, and see him in the play, he never came out on stage. And I looked around and said, where's my son? Where's my son? Finally, his teacher said, well, come to the office. We have to talk to you. So my son got in trouble at school, and he told the teacher that he didn't want her to call me because he was already in trouble at home, and that he was going to be in more trouble. He started crying. And with my son, my family was there was only 2 black families in the school district in Soledad. So that 1% black in the school. So when my son said that, the school obviously wanted to make a big deal out of it. So they called CPS, they called the police, they called everybody, because my son said he was scared to come home because he was going to get in trouble for getting in trouble at school.
Wow.
So when I came up to the school to pick up my son, I had my hair in a big afro, I had my tattoos and everything, and I had my other 2 kids with me. And when I walked in, they told me, they said, well, your son is afraid to go home with you. He says that you discipline him physically, and we're going to take your kids right now. We're going to take them to the hospital and see if there's any signs of abuse or neglect.
Wow.
I almost died. There was no investigation. There was no questions asked. They never asked me anything. They totally went off the fact that my son said he was scared to come home. So the next day, they took my kids to the doctor, found out that there was no neglect, no abuse. They did all kind of background checks. My kids never missed the doctor's appointment, never missed a vaccine. My kids didn't even have a cavity in their mouth. Okay, never abused, never neglected. There was nothing that they could do, but they just wanted to make a story out of something, because at the school I had been advocating for my son an IEP, and the school was resistant to give my son an IEP. And they were trying to find out all excuses to explain his behavior other than the fact that he needed help, he needed additional assistance. So they wanted to find reasons of what contributed to his behavior. It has to be problems at home. When my son had a diagnosis from the age of 3, and I had paperwork and everything substantially to back up what I was, advocating for my son. But instead of the school doing their job, they made my family expendable. And